Lesson 1.1.4, Recognizing Functions by Characteristics. In this video, we will create an equation and sketch a graph for a function with a set of given characteristics. Okay, we have two vocabulary words. X-intercept is the point where a graph crosses the x-axis. And y-intercept, you can probably guess what this one says, is the point where a graph crosses the y-axis. So again, if you need more time to write it down, pause it. Once you've gotten it, unpause and continue on. Create an equation and sketch a graph for a function with each set of characteristics. Use values that are any real numbers between -10 and 10. Create an equation and sketch a graph that is a smooth curve, is continuous, has a minimum, and is quadratic. This right here is important. When I see is quadratic, I want to go back and look up the equation for a quadratic function. F of x equals ax squared plus bx plus c. Okay. The second thing is that it says it has a minimum. Okay. Which means my graph is going to open up. And just to help you out, when graphs open up, this value is positive. Okay, the a value will be positive. So when we write our function, okay, f of x, we're going to pick an a value that is between 0 and 10. You get to choose. You'll pick your value. Okay, just pick any number between 0 and 10. And just so you can't copy me, I'm going to pick the number 11. Okay. And then the b value can be anywhere between -10 and 10. So again, you're going to pick a b value of those numbers. And again, do not copy mine. I'm going to go ahead and choose -13. And for your last number, same idea. You can pick another number between -10 and 10. And again, I'm going to choose a number that you can't use, so you can't copy mine, because I want you to create your own equation. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and use +15. Okay, once you've written this equation, we're going to go to Desmos, okay, and we're going to graph it and see what it looks like. So write your equation down right now, pause it, write it down, and then unpause it, and I'll take you on to the next part. Okay, when you go to Desmos' website, which is Desmos, okay, it's desmos.com, Desmos. And when you load it up, you're going to get this screen right here, and you're going to go ahead and click on Graphing Calculator. And it's going to pull up your graphing calculator. And in this area right here, you're going to type in your function. Mine was f parenthesis x close parenthesis equals 11x. And if you're not sure how to do squared, down at the bottom there's a menu. Okay, if you click in the bottom left-hand corner of the menu, and in that list there is a spot that says a squared. You can click on the a squared. And then my b was -13x, and then my c was +15. And because I put 50, oh, and then we need to zoom out for mine. All of ours should be able to zoom out because our graph went up to like 20. Okay, and so if I look at my graph, it should look something like this. Okay, and so I'm going to draw a sketch of that on my paper. Once I find where it's at. Here it is. Okay, so mine did something like it crossed way up here at 15. Way up here at 15. And it did something like this. Okay, and there was my graph. And that is what we're going to do with these problems. And this is number 1. Notice that I didn't look at the other 2 things they listed, like the fact that it's a smooth curve. It is a smooth curve. And continuous I would do afterwards when I go to draw my graph. If it is not continuous, so it's discrete, instead of drawing the nice smooth curved line, I would put dots in place of that. So we're going to try another one of these, okay? And I'll, just like I did with the last one, I'll walk you through this one. So this one says is exponential. So again, I'm going to go back and look up what an exponential function's equation looks like. And that's going to be f of x equals a times b to the x plus c. And so I get to again pick numbers for a, b, and c, but one thing they said about b is that it can't be, has to be positive, okay, and it cannot, b cannot equal 1. Okay, so I'm limited to the b values, right? I can only choose 2 through 10 for my b values. Okay, we're going to stay away from decimals. Okay, for this lesson, we're going to choose 2 through 10 for b. As for a, this says that it's increasing. Okay, so like the last one, a function that is increasing has a positive a value. Okay, decreasing functions, negative a value, increasing functions, positive a value. So f of x equals, okay, my a has to be positive. So again, you get to pick anything from 0, not 0. A also can't be 0, so you can pick anything from 1 to 10. And I'll stick within the parameters this time. I'm hoping you choose your own number though. Try not to copy mine. Okay, so my a value is going to be 5. And then b, we just said, has to be 2 or higher. So I'm going to go with 4 to the x. And my c can be any of the numbers we just talked about from negative 10 to 10. So I'm going to choose negative 10. All right. And then again, we're going to go back to Desmos and look at our graph. So if you haven't written yours out, pause it, write it down, and then unpause it and move on to Desmos. So on Desmos, I'm going to clear out what I had. And again, I'm going to type in this box, f parentheses x close parenthesis. Technically, you didn't even have to write that part. If you just start typing the equation part, it'll graph it. And I chose 5 times 4. And then to do an exponent, if you hold shift and 6, it'll move the cursor up, and then you can type x in the exponent. And then you go minus 10. So again, Shift and 6, that allows you to type your x in the exponent, and then you do whatever it is that you chose for your number. I chose -10. And so you can see my graph here. My graph is got like this, almost a horizontal line at -10, and then it curves up, passes through -5, and then it shoots all the way up. It doesn't even go over very far. It just goes up really quickly. So I'm going to go and draw that on my graph. So mine starts at -10, curves up through -5, and does something like that. And then I can double check. It is a smooth curve, and it is continuous. And with that, that is how we create equations and sketch a graph for a function with a set of given characteristics.